Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of 8 West.
Today we are taking you inside a brand new exhibition at the Grand Rapids Art Museum, Diana, a celebration, part of the 100th anniversary celebration at the Graham.
More than a decade after her death, Princess Diana's memory still stirs interest and emotion. The exhibition looks at her life and humanitarian work as one of the most remarkable women of our lifetime.
Last week, the curators at the Graham gave us a sneak peek, a unique look at the exhibition before it opens to the public tomorrow. The exhibition includes more than 150 personal objects that highlight her life, from her wedding dress to her designer dresses and to family heirlooms.
The exhibition is on loan from the Spencer family estate, Althorpe, and getting this exhibition puts Grand Rapids among some of the most amazing cities in the world to host it, from cities like Sydney to Budapest to Toronto.
So here's a look at what we'll be bringing you in the next hour. One of the most amazing pieces in the exhibition, Princess Diana's wedding dress, considered the most closely guarded secret in fashion history.
It's absolutely beautiful. We'll also talk with fashion designer Pamela DeVos, who was instrumental in getting this amazing exhibition to West Michigan. We profiled Pamela when 8 West was just getting started. She's the designer behind Pamela Rowland Designs. She talks with us about the exhibit from her own interest in Lady Di.
And we're also helping the Graham celebrate 100 years in Grand Rapids. What a grand way to mark a century of bringing wonderful art to our city. We'll take a tour of the Graham, show you some exhibits brought out of their collection only for this time of celebration.
All right. Well, we've all been waiting a long time for this. The exhibition opens to the public tomorrow and will be in Grand Rapids until the middle of February.
There are 9 galleries throughout the exhibition. It's a very personal and really quite intimate look at the People's Princess.
As we said, we got a chance to tour some of the galleries last week. I have to say, personally, it was an amazing opportunity to see the pictures and the dresses and her childhood toys and clothes really up close.
That's right, and to talk to the art handlers, the 2 men who see every aspect of this exhibition. It's their job to oversee how it's all put together.
So let's take a look at exactly what you can see starting tomorrow at the Graham. We wanted to give you a small glimpse into Diana, a celebration, an exhibition that really starts out in a fabulous way with, of course, a tiara. And we are here with the art handlers for the Althorpe estate. This is Graham Merton and Nick Grossmark. Thanks for your time today.
That's fine.
Okay, this is fabulous, and what a way to start a beautiful exhibition.
Well, this tiara is part of the Spencer family jewellery, and it's made up. Years ago, what they used to do was actually use 2 or 3 pieces of jewellery to actually make it bigger, hence the actual size of the front. And it was a tradition many, many years ago to actually, as you got more jewellery, to actually extend on the headpiece and then go to the balls, etc., which obviously people did all those years ago. The actual tiara is part of an extensive range of jewellery, which actually is here in Grand Rapids, along with this one here. But you can see the whole of the Spencer family jewellery here at Grand Rapids.
Nick, what do you take away from the tiara when you look at this and how significant it is?
It's just one of the most dazzling pieces I think we've got in the collection, and it deserves its place at the beginning. So I agree with my colleague here, Graham, and it just is quite beautiful. And just the intricate work, and just like they used to do, or they do today, where people remodel jewellery. It was obviously something they started way back then. This is probably something that was done in the 19th, beginning of the 19th century. So it is quite something.
Is there a value placed on this?
I think because diamonds weren't cut the same way as they are now, a lot of these diamonds, you just can't get them anymore. And again, as I said before, there's one brooch through here which is so beautiful, and how I used to do it was this one necklace, it goes around here, but then it has big pearls hanging, and God forbid that the family got into financial trouble or whatever, which they never did, they'd unhook certain parts of it. But that again is priceless. I think it's worth £1 million, which is $1.5 million, and that's just for one necklace. ridiculous, but they are amazing when you actually look at something like that, because nowadays they don't produce things like this because it's not fashion but then you see this picture here, Princess Diana. She wore things, but she had such a grace of wearing something like that. Whereas I think if people wore something like that now, they'd look at it and possibly think it was fake. Because you don't see these in shops now. And as Nick said, it's such a beautiful way to start the exhibition by being greeted by Princess Diana as well.
It is. Okay, so let's move on to the next room.
One of the most intimate parts of the exhibition is the opportunity to really get to know Diana and see Diana as a little girl, her childhood. Graham and Nick, tell us some of the highlights people are going to be able to walk through here.
Well, I think this really shows that Princess Diana did have a very normal upbringing. I mean, very family orientated. Her father was a very, very good amateur photographer. Hence, a lot of the photographic albums here which show her life as any child, like growing up, playing with different things, ballet, and she even did things like embroidery. I think there's things here with her school reports, which were very good actually, unlike mine which said must try harder. But different things here with her passport. There are so many personal things here which show that Princess Diana was an ordinary child and enjoyed childhood, like I think we all did.
And it is really interesting because as I grew up with her, it was always interesting because I always thought she just seemed so normal. And when you walk into this room, you really do get a sense that she was just like us when she was growing up.
Sure.
Nick, how is it possible that her family had all these collectibles?
Well, I think unlike most people, they have a very large family estate at home, and I think all these things have just been collected over the years, and like a lot of people do, they do store them in their attics, and that's exactly where we found them. So we had a whole assortment of things from her school uniform to her little car that she used to run around with, obviously, when she was a kid. There's some soft toys. We've got what else we have? She had a thing about frogs, and that obviously started from a very early age because we have a whole collection of little china frogs and things. And even we found in her briefcase this little pad that was also insignia with the frogs. So it was obviously something that kind of stayed with her as a kind of souvenir through her life.
And you see her with other children and with animals.
Oh,
two
yes.
passions of hers.
Oh, passions. I mean, you see the paintings behind here with her cat. Which was one of her first things that she actually, a pet, that she actually loved, and hence she has a portrait of it. But again, as you said earlier, she had an ordinary upbringing, which was so lovely when you actually see things like learning to swim and dive. She had an ordinary child's typewriter, all general things that we all had when we were children. So I think she did have a very, very happy childhood.
A happy childhood captured here with some of the collectibles, and as you walk through the exhibition, so many photographs because Diana's father was a bit of an amateur photographer.
Putting these stories together was such a pleasure, and even watching them, I think we both have gotten a little teary-eyed because it's amazing to see those things that we have never seen before of Diana's, and those childhood things, and having Nick and Graham explain a lot about her, a lot of things that I had never known before. It was quite an opportunity.
And it's interesting because as we got at least some extended time to spend with Nick and Graham, they're the kind of people that she would have wanted to handle this because they're so accessible, they're so filled with energy and enthusiasm about everything that was a part of her life, and she always would have wanted to make that so accessible.
Right. And Nick and Graham are not here anymore. They left to go back to England, but there is an audio tour that you can take if that's what you choose, or you can just walk through the exhibit,
which is wonderful. The Graham is open every day but Mondays. Diana, a celebration, is a timed, ticketed event, so you choose a time and a date. Tickets are on sale either at the Graham Information Desk, through startickets.com, and at Meyer stores.
Tickets range from $15 to $20 for the public. There are also audio tours, a great way to take a tour of the exhibit, and it's only $5 for Graham members. A family membership is $65 a year, so it's a good time to look into that too.
That's right. And if you were alive when Princess Diana married Prince Charles back in 1981. Chances are you remember watching the royal wedding. I was 16 years old at the time.
Wow, I think the world was watching.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, that day, 1 billion people around the world tuned in to watch the ceremony as Diana walked down the aisle of St. Paul's Cathedral.
The soon-to-be princess went through 5 months of intense fittings and had to have rehearsals to practice walking with that very heavy 25-foot train.
Wow. Find out the extent the designers went through in 1981 to keep every bit of her wedding dress a secret. That's when we come back.